This woman posted in the Am I the A-hole subreddit, and I feel like this is the perfect find out season post. This man is in the process of finding out. So she says, "Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my boyfriend children because he won't marry me?" So the boyfriend is 33, she's 31, so 33 and 31. She says, "My boyfriend and I have been dating for 7 years. Early on, we talked about marriage, kids, a house, the whole shebang. I like kids and think I'd be a good mother. I'd like to have children, but I wouldn't be upset if I didn't have any. I'm happy with my life as it is, and I could be happy with children as well. My boyfriend has always dreamed of being a dad and recently suggested that we're in the place of, to start trying for some. I was a little confused by this. I told him early on, within the first year, that I would never have children with a man that I'm not married to. I feel like children are a much bigger commitment than marriage, so marriage should come first. Additionally, if a man doesn't love me and isn't committed enough to spending the rest of our lives together, I don't see why I wouldn't make the sacrifice of bearing his children. Maybe it's old fashioned of me." I explained all of this to him once again. He was awkward and said he just doesn't want to get married. He said men get screwed over in divorces all the time, and he just doesn't think marriage is important or a smart choice. I said, "That's fine. We don't have to get married. I'm happy with our life as is. We just won't be buying a house together or having children together. We can each buy our own house and live in one and rent out the other. If we aren't getting married, I don't want to really entangle our finances in any way." He blew up at me and said I'm punishing him for not waiting to marry him. I said I'm not, just that having children outside of marriage goes outside of my personal values. I also told him that since he's super against the idea of marriage, I'm not going to marry him just for a shut up ring that he only gives me because he wants kids. I want him to actually want to marry me. And if not, that's okay. Children in marriage are off the table for us. If he wants kids now, he needs to leave me and find someone who will have kids for him without expecting any stability in return. And maybe I could find someone who wants to marry me and maybe or maybe not have kids. I said all of this to him. He's been very distressed and emotionally distraught. He has a disease that very much so limits his life expectancy. He says that if he doesn't have kids ASAP, he probably shouldn't have them at all because otherwise he wouldn't be able to see them into adulthood. And that part right there is kind of wild to me because why are you trying to get me to have some kids with you and you have some kind of debilitating disease? You're going to leave me with nothing and you don't want me to have stability. This woman is doing the absolute best thing that she can for herself. She set the scene for what she expected. He thought that he was going to be able to push her into doing something. I don't know why these men haven't gotten the updated memo that women are perfectly fine without having children. And women can stand on our own because we have financial independence, we have jobs. I really believe that men have bought into this fairy tale that women want all of these things that they want. I think that they have bought into the patriarchal fairy tale that they say that women are into, and they're getting this come to Jesus moment that women are not like that into that right now as it stands. Because number one, we see how many of them operate within relationships, and it's like, I don't think that that's for me. But that is what I am seeing. I said earlier that this is the perfect find out season story because he is like literally living it right now. She told him her expectations. For whatever reason, he didn't believe her, but he's finding out that she's going to stick with her belief system. So like she said, he's either going to deal with it as is, or they're going to have to break up and he's going to have to figure something else out. Let's look at some of these comments. Peachy Sorry says, "Not the a-hole. You laid out your needs honestly and respectfully. It's sad he's struggling with his health, but that doesn't mean you have to compromise your future to make up for his fears." Molly Ma says, "Also, if he won't live long enough to see them to adulthood, why the F does he care so much about getting screwed in a divorce? You be screwed out of benefits as his widow." Exactly. The person at the bottom says, "Legacy." Louisiana Phil says, not the a-hole, hold firm. He's trying to emotionally manipulate you into doing what he wants. I would also make certain he can't tamper with whatever birth control you're using because he sounds like the kind that would sabotage your pills or condoms to get what he wants. And then the OP says, I have a Nexolanon implant. So some kind of implant, I don't know, Nexolanon. Chocolate Chip Wizard says, I'd still double down on the birth control. Too bad they don't still make the sponge. And then the people on the post start going on and on about the sponge and using references to Seinfeld. Mally Mal or Molly Mall says, can you hear my eyes rolling? LOL. And that is in regards to the legacy comment that was right up underneath that one. Abstract Engineer says, if he's going to die early, how come he's more concerned about divorce than life? Also, OP may need to do a rethink if the disease is genetic and can be passed to their children. Vanilla Sleeping says, it's not old fashioned to want marriage before children. It's a valid perspective. Free Fishing is saying, not the a-hole. Your thinking and reasoning is perfection. I can get why your ex is so distressed and distraught because he can only gaslight you but not find a single fault in your thinking. That's absolutely the problem. He can't figure out how to poke any holes in it. He's like, I have to do this. It's like, okay, well, these were my parameters. We sat down, we talked about this, and I'm not budging. And that's one of the things that I think that they get so mad about right now. They can't stand that women are not so easily controlled. I think that that's the reason why they are failing and flailing right now, because they can't dangle the ring because women are like, okay, whatever, we won't do that then. They are not like able to say, well, I'll leave, because women are saying, I'll be okay. I'll be okay being single. So I think that they're struggling to try to find ways to make women commit to them, even though they don't really want to commit themselves. Touchgrass says, stick to your guns, but also, if you want to marry and have children, leave him. You have no time to waste on a man who is not on the same page, and a man who expects you to put your life on the line when he isn't even willing to put his money on the table is not a man you need to be with. Stop compromising. July Summer says, not the a-hole, your boundaries are reasonable and you communicated them clearly from the beginning. His desire for children, while understandable, given his health situation, doesn't negate your right to decide the circumstances under which you'd have them. It sounds like you're being consistent with your values. Building Cave says, it makes no sense for the man to act this way, to be honest. OP is standing her ground as she should. I absolutely love this. We've talked about boundaries before. I love that. I love that this woman is 31 years old. She knows herself. She knows her values. She knows what she will accept and what she won't accept. And this is one of the reasons why I do believe that women should take their 20s and get to know themselves and what they really want out of life. Because when you really know it yourself and you're willing to walk away from that which doesn't serve you, this type of thing can happen. She can have these conversations confidently without without worrying about the man and, folding like a piece of paper. She's doing what she wants. She told them, these are my expectations. And she's willing to walk away and understand that she'll be happy in a relationship and outside of a relationship. So join the conversation. Let me know what you think. This made me smile. Like I said early on, this is the perfect find out season story. And I do believe that they are learning. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.